Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of the Champions Cup, Bordeaux versus the Sharks. Now, this group is pretty interesting, and that is the fact that the Sharks, they find themselves currently in fourth. Bordeaux at the top of the bunch, 3 wins from 3, with 3 bonus point wins for those 3 victories. Whereas on the other side of things, you've got the Sharks who currently find themselves within the top 4 and going through to the round of 16 in the Champions Cup. But if they were to lose this game by 29 points, that would actually boost Ulster above them. So there's a lot on the line. The Sharks need at least a bonus point from this game, whether or not that's from scoring 4 tries or being within 7, or of course, worst comes to worst, be within 29 points, which should be more than doable. But this Bordeaux side does look extremely strong with their back line. Have to wait and see how the Sharks outfit do end up going. But looking through at the starting lineup for Bordeaux, I should say, they have got the big man in the front row, Carlos Sadie. Of course, a lot of people from South Africa will know that man from the Lions. But I feel like this forward pack, as strong as it is, of course, a couple internationals scattered throughout there, Tatafu, Guido Petty, it's the back line that everyone's looking at. Maxime Luku at the number 9 jersey. We pretty much saw Legaric do brilliantly yesterday in the last game up against the Stormers for Racing. So, of course, Luku will want to step up in that 9 jersey as well. Jalabert is the starting 10, Mofana in the midfield. And then also, Damien Pinot and also Belbari, both in the same back line, will be extremely dangerous for the Sharks. They've got a few big names in there, although they are still missing Ebenezabeth in that locking duo. In the front row, Nthuko Machunu, Bongi Omanambi and Trevor Nakanye as the starting 3, Ral and Jenkins in the locking duo, and Sia Khaleesi once again finds himself in that number 8 jersey. Grant Williams returns. That is a massive one here for the Sharks. Heavily missed him last week, but now back for this contest. Sia Masuku gets the starting jersey at number 10, and then, that midfield combo, Lorenzo Julius, we saw the impact that man had when he made his way off the bench last week, helped the Sharks get in a great position. Yapinka at 15. Very interesting one. We haven't seen too much of that. No Hendrickse at 15 here. No Fussy at 15. So instead, Yapinka does get the chance. But in the chat, we have got there, what do the Sharks have to do to qualify? They have to not lose this game by 29 or more points. So it should be very doable. But Bordeaux are a tough side. Definitely at home. Some of the scores that we've seen from Bordeaux throughout this year, even just looking at their most recent result, managing to get themselves the win over Stade Francais, 46 points to 19, and then also the week after that winning their contest, 69 points to 17. Now, only one of those 2 games was a part of the Champions Cup, but if they were able to get themselves the same scoreline as they had up against Exeter, that would do enough to knock the Sharks down to a Challenge Cup round of 16 position, which would then mean, I believe, at this stage, we would see all 4 South African sides in the Challenge Cup and not a single one in the Champions Cup. Unless, of course, the Sharks, they've got a decent chance. The Stormers, then you're probably looking at as the next most likely. I think there's still 1 game to take place in that group as long as Sale don't get themselves the win over, I think it's Toulon that they would be playing. As long as they don't get themselves the big win there, the Stormers should still get that Challenge Cup spot. But yeah, there's a few changes that can happen in this final round. And morning, says Kerr. Welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing extremely well. Munster in the round of 16 now, says Patrick Brady. I believe they'll be pretty close. Munster, we'll have a quick look at the moment in terms of who is absolutely guaranteed their spot in the round of 16 at the moment. So Bordeaux are guaranteed to lose Leicester. Those are the 3 teams from this grouping. Pool 2 has completely finished, so the 4 sides going through will be Clermont, Benetton, La Rochelle, and Leinster, who were the top qualifier after beating La Rochelle in France in Pool 3. At the moment, there is only 1 more game to take place, which is Saracens and Castres, but they have both qualified for the round of 16 alongside Northampton and Munster. So yes, Munster have made their way through. And then Pool 4, we have got Toulon, who are going through, Glasgow Warriors, Harlequins, and also Racing 92. So that one has also been confirmed, but Sale might be able to go a little bit higher and they could push Stormers out of the Challenge Cup position. The Bordeaux team are littered with quality. Says Johnny, yeah, just looking at this back line, Jalabert at 10, You've got, Belbarre and Damien Pinot, just to name a couple in that back line. What does it say in your hoodie? It says Everlast, which, I don't know what that, it's just the brand, really. Hello, Hamish from South Africa, says Marion. Welcome in, Marion. Hope you are keeping well. Looking at this Sharks lineup, I'm worried, says Neville. Yeah, I normally would like to say that the Sharks away from home would be up for their challenge here, but there is just a chance that Bordeaux do what they have done to every other side that has come to France in this Champions Cup, and in fact, every other side that they have faced in this Champions Cup, and they just maul them. And that's something we're not used to seeing for this Sharks team. I would say that the Sharks, though, I would almost give them the advantage in the forward pack, even without Itzebeth. I'd say that loose forward trio of Pepsi Buthelezi, Emmanuel Techuka, and also Sia Khaleesi, I like it, and I feel like it's got enough potential there. The front row, you've got Mfafiko Machuno, Bongi Omanambi, Trevor Nakanye, three guys who have had that Springbok kit, so they should be able to hold their own when it comes to the scrums up against Sadie, Sa, and also Poirot. Yeah, got there. How's the Sharks team looking? What's your prediction, says LFG? They're missing a couple big names still. No Andre Esterhuizen, no Eben Etzebeth, no Apalele Fasi, no Makazoli Mapimpi, just to name a few. So it's going to be tough. Bordeaux destroying the top 14 most weeks as well. They are on form. Yeah, they are a hard side to stop. But then saying that, when you look at the back line, how can you stop them? They have got some absolutely phenomenal players, and they've all ended up in the same place at the same time. In your opinion, is the time going fast? Says Charles, is in this year. We're already up to the 20th. It is certainly going quick already for 2025. Before we know it, we'll be in 2026. Eben is a game changer. He is, and sadly is not there. Instead, they've got Jason Jenkins and Corne Ral, a man who took a huge amount of stick last week for the way that he played. And the saddest thing is, half the game he was playing through an injury, or at least half the time he was on the field. And, just trying to push through, and people were just getting angrier at him. Time is relative. Says Wimma, 2025, it's 19. Doesn't feel right, though, says Charles. Yeah, see, for us here in New Zealand, we're already one day ahead. We're going to keep on going that way, and eventually we'll be about 5 days ahead by the end of the year, which, of course, is not how it works. I know. Don't panic. It's almost time for Merry Christmas, says Neville there. And we have good there, Yanu and D in the chat as well. Like they've just said, missing about 5 or 6 Springboks in this Sharks side. They're going to be up against it, but when their backs are up against the wall, I feel like that is how they won the Challenge Cup. And whereas Eben, I believe, is Eben off for a little bit of rest, or is he injured at the moment? I'm not actually too sure the reasoning behind Etzebeth not being there, but I assume it is one of those two anyway. I think he might have been nursing a bit of an injury, so he's had a bit of an extended layoff over Christmas. And greetings from another planet, says Johan Labaskachny. Welcome in, mate. And also we have their greetings all from Edinburgh, Scotland, says Johnny a little bit earlier on. Sorry for missing that one. And let's go the Sharks, says LFG. And hello. Hope everyone's well, says Sebastian. Welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing extremely well. I'm sure you will be relatively happy at the moment with your Quins going through to the next round. Racing 92, they'll be a little bit nervous. Well, will they? Toulon's been going pretty well. HIA, says Louis. Oh, is he still in that HIA stand down period? It's almost time for Silk Pants, says Charles. Yeah, they lost a lot of players just before Christmas, didn't they? Or just after Christmas. They lost Fassi and Andre Esterhuizen in the same game, which was pretty brutal. And proud of the lad, says Sebastian. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing who they get matched up with, just because, to be honest, it sounds like I'm being biased because we've got Seb and Kerr in there, but two sides that I feel like no matter what will have a great game in the round of 16, Glasgow and Harlequins. Just because those two sides, last year I think, I can't even remember who they played, but one of the games was relatively high scoring. Tell you what, we're going to have to Google it because they are currently still standing, getting ready to come out onto the field. Are you covering the Sevens in Perth? I am indeed. I haven't actually fully sorted what the plan is at the moment in terms of which live streams are happening when, but we will be hopefully getting the job done. So we're going through to the knockout stage. Paul runner-up Glasgow, La Rochelle. Those are the only... Oh, is this for this year's one? Okay, they've actually got this year's competitions. At the moment, Glasgow will be playing up against seed 10, and La Rochelle will be playing up against seed 9. That is the only information that we've got for this year's one. That wasn't quite the info that we were after. Toulon may well take it easy, no points required, so rest week is a better option, says Kerr. That's true, like they are already pretty much confirmed as the top, aren't they, in their group? They could knock out the Stormers and send Racing 92 to the Challenge Cup, says Sebastian there. Yeah, so it could be a big day for Sale if they can find their rhythm. Sia Masuku, he is going to be the man in charge of the kickoff here. The Sharks wearing the white for this contest. And the countdown is on. Bordeaux sounding electric already, and the kickoff has only just happened. And nicely taken by Maxime Luku inside of his own 22. Boots it into touch. Line out for the Sharks within 15 seconds. And Hamish looks cool as a cucumber. Back again, says Ruth. And we have got there another afternoon from another hot day in Cape Town. Or afternoon, everyone. Another hot day in Cape Town, 30 degrees. Nice warm temperatures for you at the moment. Bongi on Manumbi. Ready to throw this ball in. And it's going to be nicely stolen ball by Bordeaux. That is not the start that the Sharks would have been after. Oh, but that's not what Bordeaux would have wanted. A knock on just on their own 22 gives the Sharks a bit of early opportunity. I mentioned that I felt like the Sharks had a little bit of an advantage in some regards for the forward pack, so we are about to see whether or not that scrum can really get going, because that could be the game changer. If Bordeaux are going to be scoring their regular, let's say 30 or 40 points out there on the field, or at least hoping to do so, you're in that situation of, you know, that scrum could be the equaliser. If the Sharks can get a few penalties, maybe a yellow card, that might be easier said than done, though, because they are at about a 38 kg disadvantage. By the way, TikTok is banned in the USA. I did see that. It's an interesting one. There'll be a lot of TikTokers looking for jobs, or Instagram Reel jobs, or YouTube Shorts jobs, I would say. Just shows that you really have to make sure you're on multiple platforms, which we are not. So, whoops. Now that's going to be the Sharks ball. Grant Williams. Got across now to Ethan Hooker. Chance here for the Sharks on attack. There is an advantage for offside. Charlie D'Amelio is now posting on YouTube. Yeah, so there'll be a lot of them who do jump ship to other locations in terms of social media platforms. That's going to be out. They will go back for the original penalty in favour of the Sharks. This is interesting. Bordeaux have got UBB as their regular, I guess, kind of shortened name, the abbreviation, but the Sharks are HOL. I don't think I've seen them referred to as the Hol, as in for the Hollywood Bets Sharks. That's not true. QLats is on Instagram. Yeah, we're extremely active on there, of course. Posting one day our first post. I confirmed it's top of the group, and nothing can change that now. Absolutely zero benefit to stressing the players. Quite possible they would prefer another French side in Europe. If they can fabricate it, says Kerr. And we have got there in Eddie chat as well. Bordeaux for the win from Cameron. And Buenos dias, Hamish, says Darren, welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing extremely well. Bongi Madumbi with a good line-out throw this time. And it's going to be claimed by Emmanuel Chichuka, who gets it back to Pepsi Buttalese, and then recycles to Mbanambi. This rolling ball not exactly marching forward at a huge rate, but eventually that ball might become available. Right, they've been told to use it once. Grant Williams goes off to the right-hand side. Attacking run forward from Fenta. Offload from Lorenzo Julius. He was the X-Factor last week, and he's helped set up the first try. That is completely silenced this Bordeaux crowd. You can hear a pin drop in France at the moment. And Sia Masuku, the man who gets the first try. Sharks are the Hol, says Grant. And hi all, and Hamish says Robert V. And I'm just going to say Q Lads Entertainment with Hamish and George cooking steak is an absolute must-watch for everyone in the chat, says Kerr. The thing is, right, George, he edited that one. That video could have been 20 plus minutes. Like the amount of stuff that he had to cut out of that, as well as like we had like 3 or 4 camera angles most of the time. So like, yeah, a lot of unseen stuff happened in that recording session. Steaks were good though. All in Afrikaans means but. I assumed it was something not so nice, Grant. But's probably quite timid, isn't it? I almost said, you could hear the snails crawling, but they've eaten more, says Seb. You getting tickets for Eden Park, All Blacks versus Box? Nah, we'll be happily covering it from here. Just because, that game, for one, as soon as the tickets go up, will probably be sold out. And also, I feel like that's the type of game that would be incredible to be able to call on the channel. Yes, it would be absolutely awesome to go to it, but it'll be at a time where there's a lot of other internationals as well. And yeah, I'm happy enough not going to Auckland. It sounds bad, but it's all right, it's very busy. And if you try, says Marion, is Eben Etzebeth playing today? He is not, no. Unfortunately, as Eben Etzebeth and Sia, sorry for taking a little while, Jaden, to reply to that. But yeah, Etzebeth's not, Sia Khaleesi is. So Khaleesi really has to hold this four back together, which I have already said. I think it's got a little bit of an advantage over Bordeaux, but the back line definitely does go to Bordeaux with the amount of tries that they have been scoring recently. Attacking forward for Bordeaux, Guido Petty forced backwards the Argentine international. I saw a snail crawling around silk pants, and the silk pants went to toilet. So, right, okay. Now that's going to go with a little cross kick from Jalabert. Nice step down the wing from Damien Pinot. Offloads inside, and it does go straight to Pepsi Buthelezi, who scored the try. I just joined in. So it was Sia Masuku. The assist, though, went to Julius with a brilliant offload straight into his hands. All he had to do really was fall over the line. So great bit of work from Lorenzo Julius, who also made first initial tackle there in this play. Now, the Sharks are able to kick this one towards the touchline. Wouldn't this be a statement and a half if the Sharks can beat Bordeaux on home turf? Because Bordeaux have stacked their side because they want to be top of the table. And the thing is, right, the Sharks don't even theoretically, I know this sounds terrible to say, and this won't be their mentality, but it could be a little bit. The Sharks don't even have to win this game. They just have to get 4 tries. That's it. If they get 4 tries, they're guaranteed to be in the top 4, I believe. I don't think they can miss out. There is still another game, I believe, for this group that is going to take place. We're just going to look here. In fact, yeah, another game that will be happening between Toulouse and Leicester. But that is, what a run from Lorenzo Julius. Every time we try and talk, that man's got too much X factor and he just ends up interrupting us. Wide cut our pass from the Sharks. Chance in the corner and they will score it. And that is not going to be a pink at number 15. It would seem that they got the numbers slightly wrong, at least in my case. And Kunini, there we go, wasn't supposed to start. But the Sharks have got 2 tries already. So like I said, all they need to do is make sure that they score 4 tries and then they have more points than Ulster. Good to go. Happy days. They would be through to the round of 16. And it would be the only South African side to be able to do so. So the side that won the Challenge Cup last year would then be able to qualify for the Champions Cup round of 16. I'm talking very fast, saying a lot of the same thing, but that is a great start to the match for the Sharks. 2 tries. The crowd, once again, sound like they aren't even in the stadium. Sharks just need to avoid a 28-point loss. They can't better their position. Says Kerr. Yeah, actually, you are right, Kerr, in that regard. But the guarantee, if they, I guess, yeah, if they win, of course, if they win, but if they get that 1 point, I feel like that takes the stress of no matter how bad it goes in the second half, they're already through. Because I would be pretty disappointed if they scored 4 tries and lost by 28. But, up against Bordeaux, you just never know. I mean, we saw them score 69 points last week. So they can really fire up when they get it right. But for now, the Sharks are keeping the early momentum. Now Grant Williams going to be rolling this ball back. Sharks against Bègles. It has to be unfair, says James. Who to? Like, is into the Sharks or... that's going to be knocked on by Ethan Hooker. Will the Sharks and the Blue Bulls make it to the Investec Champions Cup quarterfinals? So the Bulls will not. They will be through to the Challenge Cup group stage, which is completely fine. Like, they will be taking on maybe the Stormers. Could be in there, depending on what happens. Jaden Berger has donated the super sticker. Thank you very much, mate. Greatly appreciated. Sonic 3. It seems like we're sponsored in that regard in terms of the picture. Have you watched that movie, Jaden? And if so, is it any good? I don't think I've watched any of the Sonic movies, but I used to play one of them on a Sega way back in the day. Kind of looks a shandy, I guess. Kind of like a shandy. It says, when Ma and Hamish is on fire, cooking the commentary, says Ruth, and Go the Sharks, says Marion. And Al Munster having the next round. Not completely sure yet. Hasn't quite been confirmed. I have no issue with Sharks at all, but I will chuckle if they lose by 29 with 3 tries on the score sheet. Yeah, it would be unfortunate. Definitely with the fact that they've got 2 in the first 10. I heard the films are pretty fast-paced. And Hamish, you haven't watched any movies? That's a lie, Grant. I watched a movie like 3 weeks ago. I can't remember what one it was, but I did watch one. You had to take my word, old little chipping behind, Bordeaux Bègles. Oh my goodness. It looks like Kuneni has just gone flying into the barricade like he's in the WWE. Quick throw taken by Maxime Luku. Bordeaux looking to up the tempo. Cross kick coming in from Jalabria. Goes straight into the hands of the left winger. Passes on the outside. Ref says that's a forward pass. And I'm not so sure it was. They are not happy at the moment. The crowd, I recommend you watch the Sonic movies. They are amazing. And alt movies don't count. Yes, I've seen no movies in the past like 5 years. No. And Mark Chapman. Yep, he's a cricketer. You are correct. Well, although you spelled his name wrong. So I assume you're talking about the cricketer. Yeah, that doesn't look that bad, that pass. Called it very quickly. They are not happy about it one bit. And did the Sharks convert the second try? They did not. No, they ended up missing that one. And you reckon the Sharks can win by 20 points here? I don't think so. Like, that sounds harsh, but we know that they normally come back into a match, Bordeaux. Like, normally they're not down by this much. But, you know, yeah, it's going to be tough. But it couldn't have started better for them. That's the best part about it for the Sharks. Like I said, they only need 4 tries to guarantee they could, like, this sounds bad and it won't happen, right? But they could score 4 tries, then lose this game by 50, but they would still be through. He's talking about a weak Mark Chapstick, says Drape. Okay, see, I thought he was talking about the New Zealand cricketer. And I was like, I never knew that man had such a fan club. Definitely because he drops a catch every time he's out there on the field, or at least it seems that way. I do that as well, except I normally drop 2. UBB, I like to give teams hope. Hamish only watches his own. He's got so many, says Grant. Nah, bro, says Drape. And we have got the okay, thanks, Bordeaux. How do you watch in Australia? I know that Stan Sport used to have the Champions Cup. I'm not too sure about now, though, but hopefully that would be the option. Normally the Champions Cup, if you go on their website, they've got a Where to Watch tab, and that will tell you the locations from every location that you can kind of watch it, depending on your country. And the Sharks will get smashed come second half. Flow Rugby with a VPN says, I'm nutty. Yeah, although, like I said, if the Sharks do get smashed, as you say, second half, as long as they've got 4 tries in the first, it doesn't matter so much because they would have confirmed their spot. What's the minimum Sharks need to do to qualify? Or massive scrum there from Bordeaux, and they have won that penalty. I think that the ref, given that forward pass, which was marginal at best, has fired up Bordeaux, and that's not good for the Sharks. That's actually worse than if they had just gone with that run down the wing. But yeah, the Sharks, to qualify, either need 4 tries to get the bonus point, or they need to lose by less than 29. So, you know, it should be doable. It really, really should. And hello, Hamish and friends, says Rio, welcome in. Rolling more here for Bordeaux. Looks like Umbanambi has managed to drag that one straight down, doing a bit of hard work there. And the rolling maul. Now breaking around the side. Gazzotti, the big man. Maxime Luku looking both ways. It's going to be now Tatafu. He wanted to reach out, but he couldn't get it there. Carlos Saidi. I thought for a second he was going to have a crack, but instead going to leave it for the Bordeaux forwards. They are again 1 metre short of line. Maxime Luku goes across now. Quick hands from Bordeaux. That is almost butchered, but Damien Pinot will score it. That was very close to a big mistake. Maybe hanging on to it a little bit too long, the man on the inside, but Pinot does score it. And I think that maybe a Sharks player has actually injured himself by putting in a big shot. If the Sharks win, will they be on the log? So if the Sharks were to win this game, rather than just, I guess, survive or at least be close, no matter where they can go, they can only get up to 4, right? So pretty much they just need, yeah, oh, that was bad. I think that was Kunini ended up slapping his head hard up against the man he tried to make the tackle. They've just said there, Joey Carberry, a late change there for Bordeaux as well. In this match, some people may not have even known that he went to Bordeaux. This looks like they're going upstairs to check this one of Kunini. And this is quite bad because not only is it going to be a try, but this could also be something more severe for Kunini, who is still lying on his back, looking a little bit rattled. I smell a swimsuit. If you can smell that swimsuit, it might need a bit of a wash. Yeah, that's quite high from Kunini, going in a bit too much towards about here. And it looks like they are actually going to check this one. If the Sharks win, oh no, I read that one, didn't I? France have been a bit subdued. Sharkies going well. Yeah, so 2 more tries. And yep, when I say that, says Sebastian. Tell you what, he's coming with a lot of force there. Like they've said, you can't come in with that force at that height. It might be a red, which would bring the Sharks down to 14. Any more games today still? So later on, there is a match between Toulouse and Leicester. I was going to be covering it, but then I was having a chat to Dad yesterday, and he pretty much said we're starting building fences from about 7:30. So I should probably try and sleep a little bit before it, seeing as I've had like 2 hours sleep since yesterday. No wetsuits needed, just sunblock. Sunblock tastes terrible. Sharks keep away. Right, it's only going to be a yellow card here for Kunini. It's not going to matter for him because I don't think he's going to continue in this game anyway. Yeah, he's going to get shown a yellow card as he walks off the field. Almost all the forces to the shoulder. He's still kind of blinking like that for Kunini. He is not in a good way at the moment. Saracens versus Castra should be good. And Toulon game says, I'm nutty. Yeah, there's a few good games that are still taking place later on. Toulon versus Sale Sharks. I'll be eagerly awaiting to watch a replay of that one. Aren't those suits black, says Danielle. The wetsuits normally are, or at least a dark colour of some sort. And that kick is going to miss for Bordeaux, so that's going to make the score now 12 points to 5. And that's going to open the floodgates for Bordeaux, says Immortal. Definitely with a man advantage. That might be exactly what they need. But like I said, the Sharks, even if they were to lose this game by 50, which I don't see happening, I should clarify. It sounds like we're trying to talk them down, but it's just the bare minimum for the Sharks here is to get 4 tries. And then that confirms their spot in the round of 16. Like, the result, yes, it would be great to get the win, but you just need to score tries. And I think they know that, which is why they've gone with a bit more of an attacking mentality early on. But now playing with 14 could make it quite the challenge. Here comes the big run from Tavira Tatafu. Getting driven backwards by Untatuku Machunu. Ball's popped out the side, gone into the hands of Trevor Nakanye. And the Sharks again have got themselves another chance. Little bit of a fumble there. Grant Williams, the ref says it goes backwards. Trying to find the gap. It should be doable, says Immortal. Exactly right. They've gone 13 minutes and they have already got themselves 2 tries. They honestly, the way that they've started this game, they should have it by half-time. Quick hands now. Going off to the left-hand side. Skip pass to Ethan Hooker, who was just on the touchline. No, in fact, the ref said that one's forward as well. So it is now going to be a Bordeaux scrum feed. You say those names so well, Hamish. Says Roof, it's not a wetsuit, it's an African honest true stuff. Says Drape. And also we have the Kerr with the suit in there as well from Danielle. What type of fencing are you putting up tomorrow? says a Grant. It's just a pretty much stock standard iron fence. So we got set up a little bit because the guy pretty much said, I need it done by the end of the week because I'm going to Australia and I've already taken the old fence down. So, yeah, we're going to try and get that one done in the next couple of days, hopefully. And then we've got to finish off the pole shed as well, probably by the end of the week. Well, at least by the end of next week. I normally wear a suit, actually, says Kerr. Hi, Roof, Hamish in a tuxedo, says Danielle. And hey, Hamish and everyone, come on the Sharkies. Are the big boys playing for the Sharks today? They've got some of them, but they are still missing quite a few. Like, Sia Khaleesi is still there. Grant Williams is back. In terms of the backline, though, they haven't got Fussy. They haven't got Makazole Mapimpi, no Andre Esterhazen, and then also no Etzebeth still in that forward pack. In terms of the front row, they have got Oxney Sher making his way off the bench. Same with Jaden Hendrickson when it comes to Springbok representatives. But yeah, still missing quite a few. La bit time coming soon. And we have got there, there's Lobo under the weight belt. And the _Kiwi_ lads on Insta. Follow, so peer pressure forces Hamish's first Insta post, says Kerr. And Hamish is neutral, as the fence he'll work with tomorrow, says Sebastian. Now, nice tack and run down the wing from Retri. Back across to the right-hand side. That's going to be another advantage now. Oh, that's a massive knock-on, but they will go right back. I think the Bordeaux will go for the corner yet again here. And thanks for the update. Sorry you only had 2 hours sleep. Much appreciated. The commentary says, Jason, I'm used to it, though. For like these weekend games, we're always up at the random hours. I will admit, yesterday, because George came round to film as well, and we ended up filming a few videos. And then he wanted chicken wings. So we ended up driving 30 minutes there to get Domino's and 30 minutes back. So I was close to sleeping yesterday, but then we still had stuff to do. I'm late who scored a try. So far we've seen Lorenzo Julius. In fact, Bordeaux have got themselves a try. There we go. It has just updated. Damien Pinot got that one, but Lorenzo Julius got the assist to Sia Masuku. And then the second try was scored out wide for Kuneni, who was also the man who got the yellow card. Afternoon chats probably will be -10 during the yellow card, says on the right. And tell you what, Bordeaux are already right on the verge of that, passing out wide. I think that pass was going to be forward anyway. Beautiful offload. Lorenzo Julius now running down the wing. He's got plenty of pace. He's gone with the chip and chase. Maxime Luku winning the foot race, waiting for the bounce of the ball, though. It was an awkward one, and everyone missed it in the first line of chasers. Now up the middle of the field, Tamura's Domino's. They do. And George doesn't like the pizza from Domino's at all, but he loves the chicken wings. Damien Pinot with the interception, and that'll be another try now for Bordeaux. And Damien Pinot has 2. Someone called a Damien Pinot hat-trick earlier on, and they're not a mile off already. Just got up, and to my surprise, the Sharkies in front. Enjoying the commentary, says Martin. And that was bad from the Sharks, says Joshua. Yeah, they had some decent moments. Like that pickup and the offload from Yapinke to Lorenzo Julius was really strong. But then Yapinke, I think, was also the man who gave the offload away that ended up hurting the Sharks and giving away the try. And we have got there. I just got up, and to my surprise, the Sharks in front, and joined the commentary, says Mark. I think I read that one. I don't even remember reading it, though. He intercepted. Who made the pass? Yapinke was the one who went for the offload from his back and ended up giving it straight into the hands of the other team. I'll go like this and like that as well. It's very interesting watching the odds of this game, just because, you know, they're not supposed to be this close, the Sharks, at this point. But with that yellow card, it seems like they're slowly going down. Like in Italy, Domino's went bust there because no Italian would give that thing the called pizza a go. Honestly, like, we were in Wanaka for New Year's, right? This is going to kill any chance ever of a Domino's sponsorship. But their sides are the best part of their menu. So I see why they changed it from Domino's Pizza to just Domino's, because, you know, pizza-wise, it's not that great. Like, they've got some good garlic. They've got the stock standard garlic bread. I'm a sucker for a garlic bread. I will be honest. Now it's going to be kicked downfield from Maxine Luku. I saw that they brought in massive donuts, though. We didn't end up getting one, but yeah, the size of pretty much mini pizza donut, big things with a hole. Don't say it, Grant. And the Sharks need points. We need to qualify, says Joshua. Yeah, so pretty much the Sharks still need 2 more tries. That can guarantee qualification. Otherwise, they have to make sure they don't lose this game by 29 points. Is it better than the garlic bread you made with the steaks? It is, yes. That was a bit hard, that garlic bread. Yeah, we overcooked that. We forgot about it, to be honest. But now, it's going to be a rolling maul for the Sharks here. Sitting 40 metres out from the line. How much time left on the card? About 2 minutes 30 at the moment. Someone time out Grant quick, says Sebastian. I got an oven best pizza in the world. Comes from my oven, says Drape. Nice. Going off to the left-hand side now. Sharks just trying to hang on to this ball for a little bit of time. They were doing nicely. Big attack and run from Julius initially. That started a big move. A little bit of a counter-up coming, and the penalty goes the way of the Sharks. They will be able to kick this one towards the corner now. Got to agree, pizza's not great from them. Even in South Africa, says Jason. Like, I'm not sure. Do you guys, so we've seen about 4 people not like Domino's. Would you say that you prefer Pizza Hut, or do you not like Pizza Hut either? Because for me, like, Pizza Hut ain't bad. I would happily, like, if someone was like, would you like Domino's or Pizza Hut? I would go Pizza Hut. Okay. I thought Sia Masuku just pointed at the post, and I was thinking that is the wrong decision, but now kicking for the corner. About 2 minutes left, says Bill. Yep, down to the 90 seconds remaining on that card. It doesn't work when you preempt the 6-day favourite, says Grant. I got him very quick for that one. It was just, I almost gave you the perfect alley-oop, but I had to shut it down. Now, Bongi Umbanambi. Again, we'll have this line-out throw. This one's going to be about 10 metres out from the line. Homemade pizza is the best. So here's Joshua. It's going to be nicely thrown in. And once again, looking for this rolling maul here for the Sharks. Getting pretty close at the moment. I wonder if Bordeaux know that if they concede 4 tries, the Sharks make their way through. Is there a chance, actually, with the way that it's done off seeded teams, is there a chance that they could find themselves up against the Sharks in the very next round? If the Sharks were to finish on 6 points, there probably is. I'll need to remember to have any ship gifts cleared by New Zealand Customs. Just came into my head now just to avoid a repeat of last time you came aboard. Yeah, that was an interesting scenario, wasn't it? But it was all sorted out in the end. I got me captain's hat. And that's going to be a bit of obstruction there. Sia Khaleesi pick and go around the side of the breakdown and just runs into his teammate. I'm not a big fan of Pizza Hut either, but they're much better than Domino's, says Sebastian. Yeah. Like, that's the thing. I prefer Pizza Huts. Like, I know that some people would argue it's not a pizza, it's a pie, which even saying that sentence makes you kind of sound Italian, but I like the big the pan base. What is it called? The pan pizza base from Pizza Hut, the big thick one. Sometimes quite good. Right, Koneni is off and Lukanyuam is going to be into the side. So he wasn't even supposed to be in the 23. But due to the late changes, that is actually a massive player to have coming out there on the park. Pizza in bed, says Kerr. I would end up with the crumbs driving me mad, to be honest. I see the winky face and I feel like it's referring to maybe something else as well. But yeah, I could never eat a piece of toast in my bed. It would just make me really, I'd just have to change the sheets. But now the scrum has gone down in the front rows, ladies and gentlemen. Like, if someone made me breakfast in bed, I would say thank you, but I'm going to take this to the table. I love Mr. Arm. Don't ask me to spell his first name. Says on the right. Hamish Thick Crust. I like the head of the props, says Danielle. And I feel like it makes a difference when Farsi isn't there for the Sharkies. Says Immortal, like a good difference or a bad difference? Immortal. Do let me know. Because like Farsi is great at the back in terms of adding stability. And I feel like they've come out really quick in this game because, of course, they knew that they needed tries. And they still need 2 more. They managed to score 2 in the first 10 minutes. Bordeaux have managed to score 2 more in the next 10. Bad difference, says Immortal. And cheers, Mano, a pleasure. Says Flesh in there. That one's going to be kicked into touch. A great clearing kick from Jalabert. Puts the Sharks back towards that halfway line. I'm getting hungry, says Kerr. Are you on you're on a ship at the moment, heading to Vietnam, aren't you, Kerr? Are you able to get some sort of room service? It's actually afternoon, or it might be afternoon for yourself, so it's actually probably a good time to have food. What's the weather like in Cape Town now? Not sure about Cape Town. Tell you what, Surrey's a great thing. What's the weather like in Cape Town? It's 23 degrees, chance of rain 30% at the moment. That looked a little bit high from Connor Sarr. Our ball is still there for the Sharks. I think they were asking for the penalty, but the referee says it's your own guy trapping the ball in. And now over the ball. Turnover is good for Bordeaux. And Alejandro Richard does get the turnover. And I see Amano Grand Sports as here talking, Hamish already. 2 hours from Cape Town, it's 34 degrees. I'm flying right over Kerr. I guess I was on Ho Chi Minh today. Now heading to Hanoi. Says Kerr. And there as well. So you certainly keep him busy, it would seem, in terms of all the locations. Imagine all the fridge magnets you could have, Kerr, if you had collected one from every location you've been to. I used to spend $15 on a tray. I had Miguel Takeaways, chop soy, Shinsuan, I can't say that, pork chow mein, and black bean sauce, lamb on fried rice, word, says Drape. And it's high tackle reef, says Joshua. It did look a little high, I thought. And in fact, they're going to check this one. So that is a bonus. But yeah, it looked like Sarr just came into, it's shoulder on head. So if we're keeping consistency, that will be a yellow card as well. Oh. Okay, so they're saying he's absorbing, so it's only a yellow card rather than a red, but now it's going to be Bordeaux who find themselves only with the 14 men on the field. Hong Kong on the 25th, and then I'm leaving the ship, a couple of days there at the shop, and then flying to Sydney, says Kerr. And then you're cruising around New Zealand a couple times in a row. And then I guess you eventually head back to Sydney, don't you? Food again, says Ronnie. It's always food on the late night ones. Consistency is key. So he's on the right. It is indeed. Now ready to put this one towards the touchline. And does just that. Speaking of keys, I just remembered I have got this, ladies and gentlemen, which is quite cool. It is a little Kiwi Lads keychain for keys. And it's got a light. I just remember that. Speaking of consistency is key. Now, 22 metres out. Bongi Umbanambi goes to the front of the line out. To Pepsi Buthelezi. Grant Williams back across now to Untatuku Michunu. 14 minutes remaining in the first half, so plenty of time to still get that bonus point. Awkward pass, but Yapinke waits for it nicely. Bumps off the challenge of the young 15, which is not Belpari for this match, I should mention. It seems like he is missing. Now back across to the right, yes, back to Sydney after New Zealand and flying to Miami. And Ulster Rugby, says Joshua. Yeah, so you're really going around the world again. That's awesome, says Immortal, and a knock-on the ground from the Sharks. Not ideal. Ulster Rugby, says Joshua. Well, Ulster will be watching this game closely because at the moment, they find themselves in 5th. So they've got themselves a spot in the Challenge Cup currently, but they will not want that. They will want to make their way through to the Champions Cup. And for that to happen, Bordeaux need to win this game by 29 or more points without the Sharks getting any form of bonus point. And a licensed Kiwi Lads keychain. See Sebastian there. We need more Kiwi Lads merch. My hoodie is still serving me well. I think we had 2 hoodie sales, Kerr. But yeah, we'll have to look at other options perhaps. Like at the moment, a lot of the stuff that I've got is just stuff that I've like made just one of, or like I think there's 2 Kiwi Lads keychains that exist at the moment. There's a few pins that are lurking around and a few stickers. Flying to Miami. Hopefully I've said that correctly. To spend a month cruising around the Caribbean. Living the life by the sounds of it. And gosh, your pronunciation of the names is brilliant. Oh, Miami. I assumed that was like somewhere in the Caribbean or something, but no, Miami. Lovely. Who wants to buy a hoodie? If you are not even wearing it, wear your merch, as my advice says on the right. Yeah, it's one of those ones that, like, it was definitely the World Cup. It was requested because of a chick chick bang statement. Are you shipping to the UK? I think the hoodies do. I believe. I've actually lost. I'll have to find the link, won't I? For the merch store. And welcome in, says Sebastian. Would a run possibly to the semi versus Connacht in the Challenge Cup not serve Ulster better than getting battered again in the round of 16 by Bordeaux? Probably. I would have to agree with you there. Like, it would do their confidence a world of good, and they could find themselves up against, at the moment, just slightly, like, closer competition. Afternoon all, says Jimbo. And I had mine shipped to the UK. Didn't take too long to arrive, says Kerr. And excellent, we're getting a Kiwi Lads hoodie this year, says Sebastian there too. Oh, a bit of a skew whiff off the side of the boot, and it goes straight into the hands of the Sharks now, off to the left-hand side. Yapinko on the outside, but Ethan Hooker decides to run it himself. Going to be tackled low by Joey Carberry. So the Stormers make the Challenge Cup playoffs. They have to wait to see if Sale Sharks beat Toulon. But I think that Sale Sharks have to beat them comfortably, but Toulon I don't think have sent their best team, so it is a possibility. And we have got there great Kerr, drunk on great rugby, and Sharks do more. You can do it. We have got there, why is your channel called Kiwi Lads when there is just one lad? Because there is 4 of us. It's just more so, like, that was the original name before we even started doing anything rugby related. No, in fact, that's a lie. It was the Musketeers, and then it became the Kiwi Lads for obvious reasons. There's a lot of Musketeers YouTube channels out there. But every once in a while, we have got either George or Isaac pops on for a bit. Not so much Daniel. I think it's been about 3 years since we've had Daniel on a live stream. Excellent, best way to be, says Kerr. And welcome in, mate. Hope you're well, says Sebastian. Right, it's going to be a scrum feed here for the Sharks. I believe the referee has decided. Or has he? Why is Grant Williams yelling at the ball boy? He was yelling at the ball boy to get the ball in. His forwards weren't even anywhere to be seen. A Musketeer is French, can't blame you, says Sebastian. Kiwi Lad's much better name, to be honest. I think so. And I'm great fan. Thanks. Spent the morning trolling Bath rugby social media pages, says Jimbo. Yeah, Grant Williams screaming at the ball boy to get the ball over to him. The scrum still hasn't happened. What's up with Williams? Rude, says Roof. Yeah, it just seemed weird, to be honest. Like, there was never going to be a quick throw or a quick tap or anything because we were at a set piece. Maybe it's a bit of the emotion and knowing that they need tries now. Starting to play a mental game on them. Someone's yelling same ball, but it hasn't moved. Grant Williams still has it. People with the first name Grant, they're bang out of order. Says Sebastian. Williams probably get for the purpose full delay by the ball boy. But the thing is, like, his forward pack weren't even near. Like the number 8 or Sia Khaleesi and the other loose forwards were pretty much at the 22 line when the scrum was on the 5 metre. So, like, they were never going to get it in that quickly anyway. Nice run forward from Lukanyuam. 5 metres out from the line here for the Sharks. Williams goes with the short ball. Bordeaux trying to defend hard, and they might have just about stolen that one. Yes, they have, so they will go back for another penalty. Right, Williams is considering going for the quick tap here. The ref wants to make sure he gets the mark right here. Williams is he's frustrated at the moment. I don't know what's going on with Grant Williams, but he is almost losing his temper with everyone. He almost just had to go at the referee. Frustration? I think it is. I think it's the knowledge of knowing that you need tries in quick succession, and it's just not quite happening for the Sharks at the moment. They're 5 metres out with a man disadvantage, with a man advantage. Who scored, says Glizzy. So far, we've seen 2 tries from Damien Pinot, and then for the Sharks, there was a try for Sia Masuku, and then also the other try, tell you what, round the side, almost over the line, going to be just short, but the other try was scored by Kunini. It's held up, and it will be a goal line dropout. It's held up over the line. Umbanambi, he's frustrated. Pepsi Butalazy, the man who was held up. I think I saw a player get 2 red cards in one game last night. Says, I am nutty. Bordeaux to smash the series now, and who scored the tries for the Sharks? So yeah, it is Sia Masuku and also Kunini, who is now not on the field anymore. Grant having a Mac Hansen moment. Says Wemma. 1 for 2 yellow. Then a second yellow got upgraded to the red. Says I am nutty. Man, Sharkies needed that, says Immortal. Nicely taken by Corneral, just on the 22. Now Williams goes back across to the left-hand side. Pepsi Butalazy across to Sia Masuku. Now skip past Yapinka with a good step. It's gone backwards there. Big bumper from Pepsi Butalazy. But Bordeaux straight on to the ball, and that should be their penalty. No, they've just managed to get the clean steal. Sharks got this, says Rape. But the thing is, they don't even really have to have this. They just have to lose this game by less than 29. And they would be through to the next stage, or score 4 tries. And hello, everyone. I'm living in Le Bourne, near Bordeaux. Allures, UBB. Happy to be in for your channel on this match. Says Rims, welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing extremely well. Referee almost getting cleaned up there. And yeah, at the moment, a very close game, and that is another penalty going the way of Bordeaux. I think Bordeaux has better fitness and should pull away in the second half, says on the right. Yeah, although there are a few tired-looking bodies out there at the moment for both of these sides. This game, even though we've had some stoppages, has been played quite quickly. But we're just going to see the replay there. Pepsi Butalazy bumped off one and then stuck his tongue out. He was very happy about it. I want to win. I don't deserve to go through if you lose, says Drape. Yeah, although they'd still have better, like in terms of points differential and whatnot, than the other sides, other than Ulster, like in terms of for that 4th place position. But yeah, the Sharks definitely would want to have a massive win over Bordeaux, and Toulouse would also want the Sharks to get a big win, because then that would give Toulouse further down the line a home final. A home kind of round of 16 and quarter final. Okay, Bordeaux just taking a bit of a moment here. And welcome to the Loose channel. Rims, there's a helicopter in the air, a nice yellow one. Not sure where it's going. It might be an ambulance one, actually. Hopefully it's going somewhere quick, if that is the case. But yeah, Bordeaux winning themselves the penalty. Okay, they're just waiting for the Sharks to be ready. Okay, so Jalabert said, are we allowed to go quick? The ref says, don't go quick, it would not be fair. Nothing to watch. I'm a perfect size 34 medium. Well, I said 36.5 Bordeaux, so Sharky's already surprised me, says Immortal. I guess that's a bonus then. Yeah, with an absolute brilliant start in this game, it has reached a bit of a stalemate, and Bordeaux's defence has got a lot better in the last 20 minutes or so. It's as if maybe those early tries, they weren't quite set. Takes nothing away from the way that the Sharks were able to score them, though. They were very quick in the way that they got through. Maxime Luku trying to roll this ball back, going for the little chip in behind. It's going to set up awkwardly, and just the knock-on in the end from Bordeaux. Now Pepsi Butalazy trying to bump off one. I would say that they should go back for the original knock-on. Ridley didn't say that there was one, though. So it's going to be play on for Bordeaux. And they will be 25 metres out now from the Sharks line. But the Sharks get the penalty. I think that was Ethan Hooker, a long way off his wing, to get in the breakdown and win the turnover. A running 100-metre sprint is my specialty, says Ruth. I don't even think I could sprint 100 metres. Like I'd probably be able to jog it, but I wouldn't go around sprinting. Seems like hard work. And every time I try and sprint playing cricket, I always end up pulling something in my leg. I watch my weight, but only having pizza in bed, says Kerr. What type of pizza are you having? And bet my rent money on the Sharks and back to Auntie's garage. Oh, they're not out of this game yet, though. Now Grant Williams. 3 minutes remaining in this first 40 minutes. Jason Jenkins, that ball has been left behind, but luckily Williams was there to clean it up. Sia Masuku. Haven't seen that man a huge amount. Oh, that's an awkward one. We need to get back to halftime fitness challenges, Hamish, says Kerr. Yeah, I mean, there is a wedding taking place in about 10 days' time, and I think I'm getting close to being able to fit into the pants that I wore last year. So that's good. Like, you would have been very impressed, Kerr, in terms of I kept my discipline. We went to Domino's, and I didn't get a single thing. But I did get a couple chicken tenders from KFC. So that was my cheat meal for this year. But hopefully, so which cousin is ruining their life, says Sebastian. So the one who's the sister to the one who got married for the opening round of Super Rugby last year. So one of them was opening round of Super Rugby, one of them's opening round of the Six Nations. So yeah, they can pick a time. Italia, 44 out of 46 pizzas, says Danielle. Now looks like a change is actually going to be made by Bordeaux. Gazzotti is going to be going off. I'd assume that is a head knock, or is that maybe strategic? Are you simply sporty, fit as a fiddle? That is just not a way I would describe myself. I just get injured every 5 seconds when I try and move. You got winning the Six Nations. I honestly hope that it's going to come down to that last round, and I think there are about 3 or 4 sides that have a good shot at the moment of winning. Oh, nice break of the line for Bordeaux. That is an ankle tap and a half, though, coming from Sia Kolisi to shut down that move. But they're still on the attack here. Bordeaux 20 metres out from the line. On off to the left-hand side. Another step. Passes across to Damien Pinot. I got 10k in Scotland winning Six Nations. Odds were too good, says Kerr. That is quite the investment, but if it pays off, tell you what, you'll be a very happy man. What were they paying? They were probably about 6-1, were they, or somewhere around there? Maxime Luku goes across, little kick him on from Jalabert. And Ethan Hooker, Tatafu's hurt his head, trying to run forward, and that's over the ball. Bordeaux get the turnover and the penalty, but Tatafu has stayed down. He doesn't look too flash at the moment. Tried to smash Ethan Hooker, and all he did was ended up smashing himself. 9-1. Oh, yeah, no, those are good odds. Wales going to win. Italy will be second, says Drape. Are you doing it like in reverse, or I bet my life savings on Italy, says Immortal. Right, shoulder to the midsection, so no foul play, they've said. And I also put 5k on Glasgow reaching URC final. It's probably not a bad shout. Yeah, Tatafu just staying down for a little bit longer. I think he'd have to almost go off for an HIA here, because he didn't look too flash. Yeah. I mean, he was going to try and get the medic to help him up. But no, he's going to continue. He's a tough man. And bookies are happy, says Danielle. Currently 1 minute remaining in this half, ladies and gents. 12-12 at the moment is the way that the score sits. 5k quid, bloody hell, says Sebastian. Yeah. I don't know whether you'd call it... I guess, confidence in a way, or just optimism. Let's go Betker. Says Winmar and Bordeaux back to 15. They are, yep. So 2 tries apiece at the moment for these two sides. Bordeaux, though, on the cusp of being able to get themselves another try here. Bookies paid me almost 500k last year. I felt like giving back. It's very generous of you. Or downright mental, says Sebastian. Aloy Belbarri, fast, young, hot. He's not playing, though. They have him out of the lineup, and Joey Carberry came in at 15. So, you know, big situation there, I guess you could say, not having him at 15. And perhaps that's one thing that's hurt Bordeaux a little bit so far. But big scrum now. Maxime Luku gets it away. That's poor defence from the Sharks. Missed tackle from Masuku. And Foster can't drag him down. Well, sorry, Francois Fenta can't drag him down. So that will be Damien Pinot for his hat-trick at the end of the first half. But he's got a bit of a limp here. That doesn't look too good for him. Unlikely Jimbo. From what I've read so far, Tui Piloto out for the Six Nations. And tries a side, looking good for the Sharks to stay within 29. Says Immortal, and merci Damien Pinot. Says Rems. UBB manages to get through the first 3 games, and it's going well. Yeah, they've looked really strong, not just in this competition, but also the top 14 as well. They've been doing extremely nicely. And what's the latest curse here, Jimbo? Now, chance for Mathieu Jalabert. He's sitting 1 from 3 at the moment off the kicking tee. Or, sorry, 1 from 2. And now makes it 2 from 3. And that is going to be halftime. 19 points to 12. So, the situation still is that the Sharks have to be within 29 if they want to go through to the next stage. So, who's got 2 tries or 4 penalties? Says RIP, both of them have got 2 tries, but now, of course, Bordeaux have 3, all coming from Damien Pinot. For the Sharks, Sia Masuku and also Kunini were the 2 try scorers. Kunini, though, has not come back out onto the field. I would assume he failed his HIA. Sia Khaleesi just having a bit of a chat there with Grant Williams. He looks angry as well. How are Isaac and Daniel doing? Haven't seen them in a while. Well, Isaac's engaged, and he's also bought a house with his fiancée, I guess I should say. So, yeah, they're going to be moving in end of January. Hopefully, if they have a housewarming, it is going to be once I am back or beforehand. But the timing's going to be pretty rough with that wedding again. Daniel's good. And, yeah, he's just working away. He's also going to end up in a house relatively soon, like in a year or so. I think he's going to be getting a place as well with his lady friend. Where's Louis Balberry? I think he's out late with an injury, I want to say, or illness or something, but he was supposed to be at 15, but instead it's Joey Carberry. Engaged, he has lost his marbles, or has he lost his marbles? Says Sebastian. Well, he had been with her for 10 years, so seemed like the right time. He said injured pec during training, pulled him out to be safe, doing scans, but seems minor. Says Kerr, a thigh pad still legal. Rugby UBB player 21 has them. Only player I see with them. So thigh pads rather than like shoulder pads. I said Pinot hat-trick. You certainly did, Johnny. And you called it very well, Cool Kerr. I want all the best players fit for all the teams. Makes for a great tournament. And great Isaac guitar. Play good music. So there are spare young women in your town. Are there? I don't think me and George have found many. That's more reasonable. 10 years is quite a bit, says Sebastian. Yeah. But then Daniel, he's been with his girlfriend for 3.5 years now. So, you know, both have been in the long-term relationships. Me and George, we've been cooking steaks on the entertainment channel, as you do, you know. But yeah, half-time in this one, 19 points to 12 at the moment. We will get some stats up to see exactly how this one, spare young woman. Yeah, it's an interesting phrase, isn't it? Champions Cup, there we go. What do we got so far in this case? Currently, I believe there is another game No, there's not, sorry. There are 2 games that are taking place next. That is Saracens versus Castres and also Stade Toulouse versus Leicester Tigers. Franco said he was worried he would be out for a while. He was reported as if that was a situation. He was just saying that it worried him. That could happen, not that it is expected. Okay, so that's good news. Because, I mean, he's probably one of those guys that you want in your squad, isn't it? Seeing as, I mean, for Glasgow, he always puts on a show. Oh, Sione Tui Pilotu. And also, could even, like, captaincy, worst comes to worst, if there's a couple injuries or, you know, he could end up with a captaincy at some point. 3 tries to 2 at the moment in this game. Bordeaux scoring 3 with all Damien Pinot. Crazy young woman makes sense. And does it count if your blow-up doll is in good condition after 10 years? I would say if your blow-up doll is in good yeah, I was going to say something, but I won't. But, yeah, it's an interesting analysis, I guess you could say. But, yeah, I wouldn't recommend bringing your blow-up doll out for, like, family gatherings or anything. I worded that wrong. It sounded better than available free in my head, says Fleshin. And short videos, Louis Belberry is ill. Yeah, so big change in that number 15 jersey. Joey Carberry, don't get me wrong, he hasn't had a bad game, but I don't think he's had that same impact that Belberry would have. And I feel like that's where we've really seen Damien Pinot step up so that, you know, they can stay in this game. Bordeaux at the moment, they have had 3 clean breaks compared to the 5 of the Sharks. Defenders beaten is 12 and 12, so pretty even in that regard. Possession and territory, both in favour of the away side. The Sharks, 56% possession, 63 for territory. Bordeaux have only made 26 tackles, the Sharks have only made 26 tackles, but only tackling at 58%. So that is some worrying signs, I guess you could say, for the second 40 minutes. And we've got their old school full Dutch wives as a trend now. Says I am nutty, and 61 tackles made by the Sharks. They made 76. By Bordeaux, they made 76% of their tackles. Penalty count, both sides have given away 6 penalties, and they both have given away 1 yellow card so far. Kunini was the man who got it for the Sharks, and he has not returned to the field due to failing the HIA. And then on the side of Bordeaux, we did see Connor Sarr go off pretty much for a similar thing. I'm waving my blow-up doll's hand at the scene, says ROP. Now we have got there, we know what can happen to a 10-year relationships. Or no, what can happen to 10-year relationships, says Fleshin. I feel like that seems like a reference to something that's happened maybe for one of the boys in the... I can't even remember the abbreviation. That's really bad, isn't it? The WWWRFC. I've just seen there that the one that's come up in the group is man who spent 15 years on sick leave sued IBM after they wouldn't give him a pay rise. That's nice. When Six Nation rolls around, I'll be celebrating for my 2-year anniversary with the Kiwi lads, says Kerr. It's already been 2 years. Time just absolutely flies by, it would seem. It's been a lot of tennis on. They are showing tennis highlights in between the rugby. Normally we get rugby highlights, but I assume that the Australian Open, they're actually at like an important stage soon, I would think. Too early, Danielle. I have too much whiskey last night. It's something that Bordeaux and the Sharks, or something about Bordeaux and the Sharks, that didn't they lose to them twice last time they played, says 9HD. Yeah, they've got an interesting history, these two sides. But, yeah, this game's a bit weird in some regards because all the Sharks need to qualify is 4 tries or to lose by less than 29. And currently they're in a good position to do one of those 2 things. I would like to think the more likely is that they won't end up losing by 29, but you just never really know. Whether or not Bordeaux come out firing, get 2 quick fire tries, then all of a sudden you're down by 21. And that can make a really big difference. That's wide, mate, says JD. And Grand says Danielle there as well. But the second half, I would say we won't be a mile away from it taking place. Probably about 5 or so minutes. Somewhere around there. Hangovers don't come from drinking alcohol. They come when you stop drinking. Says, girl, I should have mentioned drink responsibly, ladies and gentlemen. And now my son just chucked his girlfriend of 10 years out of the blue. Ah, I see. Is that good or bad? I assume bad, right? But did you like her? Or was it was it just he was like, nah, randomly, oh well, see you later. I trust Jelly Bear more than Intermac. Says HH. You also, I don't know whether or not you put it, Kerr, but what type of pizza were you getting? Seeing as I've been trying to eat all healthy, I like hearing about what other people are having in terms of like good food that I used to have more of. Now we've got darts highlights. Tell you what, they're rapid fire highlights on Sky at the moment. Hope the blue isn't the name of the plane they were on, says Kerr. And very true, Kerr. But I can't drink while I sleep, although I've tried many times, says Jimbo. It just... Darts is quite fun when they're doing well. I'm watching, the one that they've got is Smith versus Van Gerwen. Oh, you missed the 9 dart. I didn't know I was into darts till then. Pepperoni and I ordered a cheeseburger as well, with a cheesecake to finish. What type of cheesecake is it? I need an IV drip setup, says Kerr. I'm just smiling at darts. I didn't know. I didn't know that darts could do that. When's the next try coming? Before midnight? I hope so too. I'm hoping that we won't be a huge way away from seeing another try. I feel like the Sharks need it soon. Luke Littler, what a player though. Littler, I should say, says Sebastian. Our lemon cheesecake with a blueberry compote. I've never had that. You can tell from the way that I pronounce it. I should be fat low. Although you do a lot of steps, so like that helps. Like when you're doing 20,000 steps or 50,000. Did you get 50,000 one time? That probably helps you stay lean, I think. And shots to score next. Not going to lie, says Wenmar and Pinot with his 4th, I'm saying. Says Johnny. So you're just saying, are you going every try that Bordeaux score is going to be Pinot, Johnny? Because if you did, I wouldn't blame you. But then saying that, Damien Pinot at the end of that first half did look like he had some sort of ankle injury or something. Had to hobble off the field. Did Pinot limp off, or is he okay? Yeah, he limped off, so could be a big one. 7,000 steps before 7:30 a.m. today, says Kerr. I pronounce it compot. There you go. But yeah, so you certainly earned your cheesecake. Second half. I just feel like the Sharks are right. They're right there. 2 tries. Doesn't matter what the end score is. Of course they want to win, but 2 tries minimum. And I feel like they've got to be told that as well by the coach. Just say, look, boys, take some risks. Because, yes, a win here would be great, but we need to guarantee our spot through. And in doing so, you might actually end up ramping it up a little bit and actually putting Bordeaux under pressure. Bad, my missus devastated, and yeah, we liked her a lot. The little effer says, well, I am sorry to hear that. Did he tell you why, or he just went, nah, decades a long time. French Bordeaux, or Pinot, too bad off, says Ruth. Ben Lamb played for Bègles a while ago. Last seen him play. Yeah, I don't think we've seen a lot of Ben Lamb since Bordeaux days. I mean, I saw him play for Samoa. I think that was in the World Cup, was it? Or just before the World Cup. Then he ended up playing a little bit of rugby for Samoa. And then, I think he might have gotten suspended or they got knocked out, of course. Lemon cheesecake is the bomb with extra cream on top, says Ruth. Sounds all right, doesn't it? Yeah, as soon as the wedding's over, I'm going to have a ultimate cheat meal. The thing is, though, if I tell George that, he will probably want to film it as, a video. So we might end up doing a steak cooking part 2, except we'll try and cook something else. Also, Hurricane says drape and key lime pie, though. Am I right? I have never tried key lime pie. What is key? Like, what's the key part of it? Like, I get the line, but what's key? Like, is that... I can't even think of what that would be short for. I could Google it, but we'll wait to see what you say. Even if the Sharks make the playoffs, they won't even make it to the semis. Says Outlaw. I mean, yeah, the semis are a long way away. Round of 16, then the quarterfinals. But just to be there would be something. Because at the end of the day, that would be further than the other South African sides have made it this year. We're going to see the Bulls in the Challenge Cup. We're going to possibly see the Stormers in the Challenge Cup too, depending on what happens. And key ingredient, says Drape. It comes from the Florida Keys. Ah, okay, so it's not like based off like a fruit or something. And you're spot on, key in the Florida Keys, lime pie dish. And former 7-star Ben Lamb, thanks for the short info, Hamish, says JD. And key lime, says I am nutty. There as well, I will be getting some when I head out that way, says Kerr. So is it one of those ones that you can only really get in that part of the world? You can probably get the knockoffs, but it's probably nowhere near as good, is it? And the Challenge Cup is better, not so difficult, says Outlaw. I mean, the Sharks, yeah, like, imagine that, being back-to-back Challenge Cup champions would be pretty impressive. Of course, though, they want the Champions Cup, or at least to be in the chance of making it. Still need to work South Africa into my travel plans, says Kerr. Very attracted to you, Hamish. Are you homosexual by any chance, says HH? I am not, sorry, but cheers. You've got HH as your name, so I assume your first name might start with H, which is the same as mine. Fun fact. I'll definitely be dreaming about it, Kerr, says Danielle. And time for a few drams, says Johnny. And lol, says JD. But now second half just about to take place. Bordeaux, they will want a few quick fire tries in a row. Jalabert getting ready to go for the second half. They're looking into the sky at the moment. The pie or me coming to South Africa, says Kerr. And no real reason, just said he thought it wasn't going anywhere. Now she's stranded in England with no family apart from us. Well, yeah, so that's awkward. But why wasn't it going anywhere? Surely if it wasn't going anywhere, it was because he wasn't, getting a ring out. Just saying. But now, Grant Williams going to be rolling this one backwards. And Grant Williams kicks this one high. It's going to be nicely taken by Ethan Hooker. Sharks want to score first to slow the UBB ramping up. Yeah, I think if Bordeaux score next, it's going to be very hard for the Sharks to stay within 20 points. But if the Sharks can score this very next try, they'll be right in it. Now going back across to the left-hand side. Going for the 50-22 here for Bordeaux, but at the back, ready to take it was Yapinka. He's gone for the kick in behind, and that one's rolled into touch eventually. Stayed in field for a little bit longer than it looked like it was going to us, but no on Hamish. I haven't seen him just yet. Looking around for him, I see 11. He'd be on the far side of the field if he's anywhere. But yeah, haven't seen him just yet. Tatafu is off the field. That is for Diaby, so that is due to that head knock that he took. What's your final score prediction? If Bordeaux score next, I think they're getting in the 40s. I don't have an exact prediction though, but I do think the Sharks would score again. Oh, beautiful offload from Julius. He's really stepping up in this one. Now kick downfield from Lukanyuam. But yeah, if the Sharks score next, I think it will be separated by less than 10. So there's a lot riding on this next try in my opinion. And we have got there Sharks to score next, or Bordeaux could wiggle it home. Away home victory, says JD. And Bordeaux by 29. Oh. And I assume you're saying Sharks 3 tries as well. That's one more. That's one way of looking at it, mate. Says Fleshin. Wait, what did he say? That's bold. Says I finally found out how to watch this game live, says on the right. And brutal, says Kerr. Right, the Sharks have got themselves the line out 25 metres out from the line, nicely claimed by Jason Jenkins. Now, Grant Williams passes off to the right-hand side. The question is, who would the sides who are in the top 16 at the moment, or making it through to the round of 16, who would they prefer to play? Would they rather have the Sharks or Ulster? I think off current form, you'd probably pick Ulster as a side you'd prefer to play, and they probably know a little bit more about Ulster as well compared to the Sharks side who are new in the Champions Cup. We've got to remember they did not play in this competition last year. They were in the Challenge Cup, and they won it. Now Maxime Luku kicking it downfield. That's a lot of open space, and it sits up for Damien Pinot. He's got Mo Fana on the inside, but does the skip pass to Maxime Luku, and he will score the try for Bordeaux. That is a dangerous one. I have no idea. She's meant to be coming around later. They're still in the house together at the moment. Flight to South Africa, 18K. Is there a chance for a draw? Extra time, says JD. Chance for a draw is not very likely. But I don't think they go to extra time. I think they just have a draw. So, yes, there is a slight chance, but very, very small one. And I just time traveled, and I'm watching the game 1 minute ahead of you, says on the right. And 26 points to 12, says on the right too. 44 minutes in at the moment, 36 to go. Bordeaux crowd liking that one very much, but that now takes the points difference between these two sides to 14. If it doubles, it gets very interesting from here on out. The early try in this second half, Damien Pinot, he didn't score it, but it was a great skip pass because I think they assumed he was going to Mo Fana. Maxime Luku does get the job done. Sharks going well, though, like a wild card team, said. Says Drake. Hamish, I'm lower in the bar. If the South African team gets a try, job done. What do you think? Says ROP, they need 2 tries. I honestly think, like, the Sharks, because of conceding that try, this is going to sound harsh. Oh, Corne Raul's knocked himself out and they will have a stoppage now. He will have to go from the field. But I just don't see them going on to win this game from here with the momentum that Bordeaux at home can create. So they need those 2 tries. 2 tries save them here. Well, he went in head first. Corne Raul just getting it a bit wrong. I think he almost caught either the back hip. Yeah. Right on the top of the head and knocks himself out. Who got the 3rd try for Bordeaux? It was Damien Pinot as well. Nearly had 4, says Johnny. Yeah, 3 tries and an assist at the moment. And Sweden is nice. Nice people too, says Kerr. I missed one again, didn't I? Where's she from? Oh, so she's Swedish. Yeah, that must be an interesting situation. 10 years in and then now, like, what, she just going to, I guess, go back to Sweden? He was like, F this game, says Drake. They will have to make that sub. Looks like he is back to his feet, though, or at least back to sitting, so that is a big bonus. I think it'll be Lapis Labaskakni. I assume they originally didn't really want to have to make that sub as early as they will. Damien Pinot's still out there. So the bonus point already in favour for Bordeaux. Even if they were to lose this game, they will walk away with at least 1 point. Corne Raul will make his way from the field, and Lapis Labaskakni, like I mentioned, does make his way on. And they are, says Fleishan. Now, scrum feed. I've just said there about the magic number of 29. Sweden is a hard dating scene if you're not local, says I am nutty. If the Sharks score 4 tries but lose, do the Sharks still qualify? Yep. So even if they lost by 50 points, which they won't, but if they lost by 50 but they still had 4 tries, they still go through. All they need is one form of point. And I feel like the 4 tries at the moment is their best bet of doing so. Going back across to the right-hand side, Gelebert Going to kick it in behind, and that is a great clearing kick down towards the 22 of the Sharks. And Julius won't take it quickly. Seems like the French kicking game is causing a lot of problems for the Sharks. Says on the right. And you're also just keeping it nice and low. If they score 3, they will win the comp. Says Drape, and absolutely. Says RIP. And they might lose by 50. They've not answered 26 points so far. That is a point. Yeah, starting off 12-0 up to go down 26-12 now. It's got to be a frustrating one for the supporters. Couple changes being made in the front row now. Boniface makes his way on, and Lamothi. His names, I think I mispronounced both of them. Oh, Umbanami tried to go quickly. No one was really looking. Half of the players were looking away, so they do have to take it again. Do I get my French fries with a burger? Says JD. Our attack and run from Ntatuko Michunu. Sharks have 34 minutes. That clock is ticking down very quickly. Now kicked high, nicely taken. Now on the halfway line, the Sharks almost had the turnover, but he just lost his footing in the last moments. Will the Sharks still go through if they lose by less than 7? That is also a possibility, yes. That would still get them the bonus point as well. That's actually one that we haven't even mentioned. I feel like, I don't know, it just seems like it's going to be very unlikely that they are that close. I think Bordeaux in the second halves and all of their games have just ramped it up to that next level. And, you know, Bordeaux still have a very good chance of getting to 40 here. And that's a year with wages for a flight, but pocket change on a cruise, says Danielle. And Greta Mum was a Eurovision contestant. Well, yeah, contestant, I think that is. And BB close to the try. But held up, says on the right. Yeah, so you are ahead. So try not to have too many spoilers if you can avoid it, as we are now just seeing that rolling maul. About 5 metres out from the line. Maxime Luku going across, and we do know that this one is held up. So it is going to be the goal line dropout. And let's hope the Sharks get those 4 tries, says Car Wash Guy. Yeah, they just need to find a way through, don't they? Like, even if it sounds awful, and I know it's something that they wouldn't think, like, but even if it means you concede 4 tries to score 2, that still will get you through, you know? So you have to throw some risky passes, cross kicks. What odds am I getting with Pinot at 4 tries? From here, you'll be looking pretty good, seeing as you're already 75% of the way there. Spoiler, Sharks win by 1 point. Says on the right. And we have got there, well, it's current Star Trek lore. And my ships never go to South Africa. Not sure why. Says Kerr. Oh, loose ball. And it's just a knock on from... No, it becomes a penalty for a deliberate knock on from the Sharks. I need to book a flight and arrange a combination through Kiwi Lads. Says Kerr. What, for your South African league? Yeah, just knocking that one down. Couldn't hang on to it. Grant Williams in Sweden, good place to visit. Truly blessed. In that case, I'll say 5. Says Johnny. And do you think the Sharks are playing to their full potential? Are they treating this as a warm-up? Well, they can't really treat it as a warm-up, because if they don't get the 4 tries, there is no next game for them in this competition. They will be back in the Challenge Cup. But it does not sound as though the Sharks are really trying too hard. I think they're trying. It's just Bordeaux. People do sometimes underestimate. That's going to be a big try for the big prop. The replacement 17 makes his way on and scores for Bordeaux. But yeah, Bordeaux are just really a tough side to work out. Kerr just used the Kiwi Crew credit card. And yep, 18K for flights means I need to be sensible with hotel costs, says Kerr. That's probably true, actually. And when we had those major floods here in Durban 2022, I wonder what Greta says. This can be a warm-up. Well, this can't be a warm-up. This is the final game of the group stage, says Luthor. Exactly right. This is do or die for the Sharks. This is for a spot in the Champions Cup round of 16. They are far behind at the moment with that try. And the kick going over as well, making the score now 33 points to 12. But they still need their 2. Or they need to score a lot of tries and get back within 7. Okay then. And then it is boys to men, end of the road song then for them. And I can watch this game online, says Luther. Unfortunately, there aren't a huge amount of free options around for the Champions Cup, depending on where you are in the world. Your best bet is to go on the Champions Cup website, and they have a list of where to watch depending on your country. So it might be a good idea to have a look there. Now on the halfway line, little chipping behind. Caught him on the shoulder, 112 followers on Instagram. I feel like a post is due. Come on, people. I follow on Insta. And load up the peer pressure, says Kerr. Is it on 112? I don't even remember when we hit the 100 followers. Did we hit it on a live stream or was it outside of one, I wonder? Now, Sharks have got possession. 29 minutes remaining. They have to run this rather than kicking it away. Oh, and it's a drop ball by Siokolisi. And it's going to be the scrum. Unfortunately, in the UK, we are sat behind a paywall. I'm in South Africa, says Luther. So, yeah, I think it's DSTV is the only option for being able to watch, which, of course, is a subscription-based one. But your other option is to watch the highlights after the game. We've only got 29 minutes left, and they will be up on the Champions Cup YouTube channel. Sharks sound pretty much dead in the water. Is Khaleesi playing? He is. He just dropped the ball. So, they're just not finding their rhythm. And it can be easy to think that the Sharks are playing at 80% or somewhere around there, like someone mentioned, but I think it's just what Bordeaux's pressure does to you. They make you make those easy mistakes that you normally wouldn't. When Sharks had the ball, they look like they don't want it. Says on the right, I think they just don't know how to get through this Bordeaux team. They scored very well early on. Will the Sharks be relegated if they don't get 4 tries? Says Cabus. Yep, if they don't get 4 tries all within the 7 points. Although, the other factor I should mention is 29 points. That's the magic number. If they lose by less than 29, they do still go through even without those extra points. But at the moment, the way Bordeaux are going, like they're breaking the line again. And they are looking dangerous as if they're just going to keep on scoring for fun now. Maxime Luku goes across to the right-hand side, passed out wide. Damien Pinot does break through. 5 meters out. They're going to have to hold him up. He's found the offload, and Mofana and one of the props had a miscommunication, and it's cost them the try. The man who scored the first try of the half, or in fact the second try of the half, wanted another one, it would seem. Big run forward from Pepsi Buthelezi. Sharks are a slightly above average side, especially when you look at the team and how well they should perform. Says Kerr. And yes, trying to play, drop the ball, says Stefan. Bordeaux top of the league. Are they also top of the top 14? They are, yep. And a clearing kick there from the Sharks. Now about 10 metres out. Bordeaux again will have themselves the line out. Well, the Sharks are bad. An order Shark with French fries, says JD. And we have got there that 29 points isn't looking so silly now, is it? I didn't get 500k from the bookies for nothing, you know, says Kerr. And Bordeaux wins, says Bobby Fox. That's pretty much a guarantee at the moment. It's just how much they will win by. That is the question. But now looking for the rolling maul, breaking off the back. The replacement, and Mofana goes through. And it's another try for Bordeaux. 3 tries to assist somebody get the fire extinguisher, says Johnny. The Sharks are at the bottom feeding type. And can I please get a shout out for my channel, says LFG Royalty. Shout out to you. And Mofana, the man who has just scored the try for Bordeaux. That brings him up to 38 points. That's a difference now of 26. So we are getting extremely close to that number that the Sharks do not want. Maybe a tequila sunrise, says Danielle. Bordeaux, come on. Allez France, put it out, says Ruth. Now the difference is 26. Kick to come will make it 28. And then any more tries for Bordeaux will put Sharks back into the Challenge Cup. No, don't pull it out. Says Drape. This is a sharking display. Says Wenmar. 30-point win, says Bobby. And that kick has gone over as well, making the score now 28 points difference, 40-12. So currently, the Sharks are still in this, theoretically, One moment. We might actually put down the bottom just to give it some sort of context. Or context, sorry. Then, one moment, 29. Point to make the round of 16. There we go. We'll put that down the bottom. That's too long. How can I shorten that so that it's one line? Need to be within 29. There we go. There we go. We'll have that down the bottom just as a little bit of a situational awareness situation thing, I guess. I'm a diehard Sharks fan, but this is unacceptable from them. We began the season so well, says Cavis. Looks like a couple more changes are being made by Bordeaux. So currently the way that it sits, I believe the Sharks would still go through on the technicality because Ulster's points differential, I believe, is also 28. And Khaleesi and Williams, too grumpy, bad moods, can't help their causes, says Ruth, and a few more changes being made for the Sharks now. Unthathuku Machunu going off for Oxnashare. That is a big change to make. Will the Sharks finish 6th or 5th to go to the Challenge Cup? 5th. So the team who are in last in this group is on 1 point, so they are nowhere in the question. Now Maxime Luku does kick this one downfield, nicely taken by the Sharks at the back. The Sharks need 2 tries to get themselves guaranteed promotion through. Now Grant Williams. Oh, that one's going to go wide. Oh, I think they actually said there that Ulster would actually go through if it stays like this because of points 4, I believe, is what they just said. I could be wrong, though. I live next to the Shark Stadium, and I find this result today mildly tolerable. Khaleesi is supposed to captain them to the next cup, though, says Drape. And I called 47-12 with the Pinot hat-trick. Probably should have done the lottery, says Johnny. Now, once again, Bordeaux. Oh, is that a deliberate knockdown? No, it's off the hand. Or the head, sorry. Now, Pinot tries to break the line, offloaded back to Jalabert. That was a hard name to say. Just trying not to choke quickly, and that one's gone into touch. Now, line out. I've just joined the chat. What are the Sharks doing wrong, says Sean. Unfortunately, they haven't been clinical enough. They've had a lot of moments where they just needed to hang on to the ball, and they haven't. Their penalty count's not awful. Like, their discipline hasn't been the worst thing in this game, but they just haven't really done great. They needed 4 tries. They scored 2 within the first 10 minutes. And since then, they've completely gone to a standing start. Damn, the Sharks need to get at least 1 point. Only way now is to score another 2 points, or 2 tries. Is it possible? Says Neville. I think it is. I think they showed throughout their first 10 minutes that they're more than capable. Now, it's going to be, it's a hard one in the air. I believe it's going to bounce on the side of Bordeaux. Big Ben Tame Funa is on the field too. Jaden Hendricks are onto the park for Sia Masuku. Rough pass out wide, but Bordeaux have managed to scoop it up. And now a little flick round the back. Damien Pinot moves up to 30 metres out. Maxime Luku goes across. Oh, Big Ben Tame Funa puts it down. Lost the plot. Sharks swimming sideways. I think the Sharks need to spend more time in the gym. They are out-muscled. Says on the right. Now the Sharks need to get at least 1 point. Says Neville. Yeah, or they need to be within the 29. Well, really within 27. Jansi Fans Rensburg, actually the man who made his way onto the field. Dry throat, says JD. It was more so just choking on saying Jalabert. I put a bit too much on the end. A Shark Fin Soup are on special after this game. So I want to ask something. If the Sharks lose by less than 29, they still go through, says Kovis. Pretty much, yeah. So 28 is the number that I think Ulster still go through. So really, they need to be within 27. But, yeah, pretty much. Or if they score 2 tries, that would give them a bonus point, and that would mean that they do go through as well. So I would say if they score in the next 5 or so minutes, that would be actually quite cool because then at least, you know, there's a little bit on the line for the final moment. Sharks are only 3 points off in the URC table, remember, not having a good season. I assume that's 10th or maybe 11th in that case. That's a hard landing for the two men going up for that ball. 11th. Says Gurr there. And yeah, looks like Lorenzo Julius has just stayed down. And JD for Jack Daniel lives here. Says JD. And 11th, the typos galore, says Gurr. You got there. Oh, I knew what you roughly meant. That was the main thing. Let's cope and talk about the Saracens game, opinions and predictions. I think it's going to be very interesting to see how Castra go because they had a big win over the Bulls at home. But away from home, the French sides do struggle just that little bit more, or at least that is the trend that we thought was a thing up until we've seen them in that last round get a majority of wins. Tequila with the cheeseburger. Kerr. Says Jimbo, come on the Sharks, says Marion. And the Sharks are in there as far as I understand. 28 points deficit. They can score a penalty and be safe. Says Stefan. Jalabert, says Grayton. And we have got there... it's not the motion of the ocean, it's the size of the ship, or the size of the ship. So if you can make it into port, says Kurt. Castray doesn't even play away from home with a full team, says I am nutty. Not a lot of the French sides do. That is just the trend of the top 14 as well. Now, going to be a big push from the Sharks. Grant Williams flicking it out the back door to Lucanio, who goes with a skip pass out to Lorenzo Julius. Close to the touchline, tried to keep it alive. That looked like a knock-on from Jancy van Rensburg. Yes, it is. Tequila in the morning is a morning drink. A couple of glasses of champagne at night and a smallish rum. Says Gert. It will be the knock-on from Jancy van Rensburg, which now brings the scrum feed for the Sharks yet again. Deliberate knock-on. Says on the right. I mean... It was close to one, but I think where it was on the field as well, he was just trying to cut the offload off. So, like, yeah, it could have gone that way, but nah, they were happy enough with just the knock-on. I'm in Canada, I'm freezing cold, says JD. Now, Grant Williams. Another scrum feed here. So he will be playing the full 80 minutes, needs to find a little bit of something for his side. He's been frustrated throughout this game earlier on in the match, yelling at a ball boy. Now we've got a scrum reset. Not Liv, till you're enjoying pizza and beer with champagne, says Kerr. We take bites, do fine, Kerr, says Danielle. Edinburgh here, bro, equally cold, says Johnny. Now 60 minutes down, a quarter of this match to go. We'll quickly have a look at the Challenge Cup just while we've got the bit of time. Edinburgh are beating Black Lions comfortably. Bayern are winning up against Gloucester. Currently in the table department, where are the Lions? The Lions are 4th in their group. So I believe they would go through at the moment. And the Cheetahs are 5th. So I don't think they would, unless Perpignan... They got a game coming up. Yeah, they do. Unless they lost to Zebre by a massive, massive amount. I was going to say, we might see quite a few South African sides in the Challenge Cup competition. Grant Williams, after Jason Jenkins, who has dropped that ball, and then Oxnashare has knocked it on, and it will be the scrum. Don't I know it, Danielle? I don't know it, says Kerr. And we have got there Am and Co. are just cruising, or Am and Co. are just cruising. Just replace these dudes. Also, Grant is nowhere near his brilliant self. Don't usually eat in bed, says Danielle. We're supposed to get 10 centimetres of snow in Philly today, says Gus. Isn't it weird how certain parts of the world are expecting snow and then others are pretty much in a heat wave? Very unique, the weather system. And Sharks and the Bulls already qualify for the Champions Cup next season. Stormers need to make the URC playoffs, says Grayton. Yeah, although, of course, this year they could find themselves, the Bulls are in the Challenge Cup. Stormers, they're eagerly awaiting to find out whether or not they are going to be a part of it or whether Sale Sharks will overtake them. It looks like Julius will make his way from the field. He's got a chest injury, so Bradley Davids does then get brought onto the field. He's had a fantastic game, though. He has been one of the best out there on the park for the Sharks. At its biggest, 365 metres, says Kerr. Doesn't mean you wouldn't, says Kerr. It looks like there is another injury here. Marco Gazzotti. I thought he already went off earlier on. That's going to bring out Lockie Swinton onto the field. A man who I didn't even realise was playing for Bordeaux. And Sharks fans who are not feeling the new name, Hollywood Sharks, says on the right. And someone explain what has happened to English Prem Rugby, please. I used to tune into the highlights every week, but now not so much, says Jimbo. Unfortunately, once they lost those few teams, it just a lot of people lost interest in it. Like, there's still some great sides in there, but it hasn't really translated that well into the Champions Cup. But like the Tigers, they used to be one of the strongest sides in Europe. They're still going all right, but they are getting beaten by the strong French teams at the moment. The name Hollywood Sharks fits them. All the stars play there, but nothing comes from it, says Drayton. And we're based in a 30 degrees Celsius day here in Pretoria. Do you think the Sharks are happy to just focus on URC from now? Nice run from Grant Williams. They may not have to. If they can score 2 tries in this last 18 minutes. I know that the Bulls, they were pretty much saying we don't care about the Champions Cup, but they've actually made it to the Challenge Cup, so now they'll have multiple more games to blood new players that maybe they wouldn't have been able to in the URC. Missed pass there. Kicked forth from Yapinka, running onto it. It is taken by Bordeaux with Jalibert. Now ball bounces out the back. Going off to the left-hand side. Oh, a big gap opening up. He just ran a beautiful line. Finds the pass on the outside. Swinton had to hang on to it. Kolisi does not get the turnover. Now back across to the right again now. Joey Carberry shut down early. Too early, in fact. It's going to be the offside advantage in favour of Bordeaux. There's a culture shark for them, for sure, in t-shirt and sandals weather. They need to focus on the URC and they need to time to do it if they want to contend. Shark 17 still has hope and ambition. A lot of energy in his defence. Says on the right. So that is Oxnashare, of course, one of the standout players throughout 2024 for the Springboks. And we're going back for the original penalty. I miss watching London Irish. Yeah, London Irish, the Wasps, they were a side that were great to watch. Brad Shields, Jacob Umunga in there. Thomas, or Jeffrey Tuamunga Allen, I should say. He was in there as well. Malachi Fekatoa. There are quite a few good players at the Wasps. Lima Sopawanga, in terms of Kiwis anyway, that they did have scattered throughout that side. Bordeaux need to take a cheeky 3-pointer and play territory, says Kerr. And what's happening with the Sharks? Just went out for half an hour, says Jason. Yeah, unfortunately, they're on the verge of being knocked out of the Champions Cup and going into the Challenge Cup instead. They still need 2 tries or to be within 7, or they have to be within... Honestly, it is actually, they have to be within 28. We're going to take that off, or at least 1 point. There we go. Because I think if it's still 28 separating, I don't think they go through because of Ulster's tries scored as well as their points scored. And the Sharkies are playing horribly. Says Immortal. It's going to be kicked high now. And just travel up to the 22 now for the Sharks. Grant Williams, that one's gone backwards. In fact, that time it was Bradley Davids. Loose ball. It's getting slapped around all over the place, but the Sharks have actually now ended up in a decent attacking situation. Lucanio Arm looking for the offload. Well handled by Labaskachny. And come on, the Sharks. My dad used to play for Scottish Exiles. And it's going to be turned over well by Bordeaux. Just in the breakdown, relentless in the way that they have been playing. And say something that makes us feel better about the score. It could be worse, is probably the best thing I can say at the moment. And at the start of the match, it looked like the Sharks were going to get the bonus point. So maybe at the last 10 minutes, they can score 2 tries again. Maybe. But yeah, they have to risk it all here. They have to be willing to concede 5 tries to score 2, which sounds hard. And it's one of those things that sides cannot naturally do, but they have to just go for it. You know, you don't want to spend 5 minutes inside of your own 22 with Bordeaux attacking. You've got to get down the other end of the field And unfortunately, one of the only ways to do that is to concede a try. And on this performance, they don't deserve to go through. Says Sean, the only positive is that for the last 20 minutes or so, they've been holding the game mostly around the halfway line, says on the right. And we have got there, who could have thought that we were in for a shark? Says Wenma. Pepsi Buta Lazy, he will now make his way from the field. What's happened to Eben? Spine of the Sharks, unfortunately out with the HIA, or the head knock did take him out for this game as well. Do you think the Sharks are an overrated team? You can be honest. We're all friends here. I do think for the talent and the number of Springboks that they haven't quite had the results to back it up. Oh, Damien Pinot scores his fourth, the grubber in behind, and it is another try for Bordeaux. That just takes them a little bit further away, and now they are outside of that margin that they needed to be within for the Sharks. Sharks are missing key personnel. Yeah, and that is another factor. They don't have about 5 of those said Springboks out there on the field at the moment. But great finish from Pinot. That'll frustrate Hendrickson because he thought he had the better of him up until Pinot turned on that accelerator. And just smoothly sailing home, Bordeaux. No hope for the Sharks, says Barry Green. And thank you, Hamish. Thank you, everyone, for your company, says Danielle. Now getting ready to line up this kick out, says Lilia B. And Sharks showing what a great coach Rassi is, says Sean. And yes, another one. And yes, Pinot with the fourth. He'll be cleaning up at the bookies. And that kick has gone over 47-12. 35 points different. It's not just this game, though. Let's be honest. They are fighting to be 5th in the table, says Kerr. And just shows how weak the Sharks are without most of their main players, says Sean. And these aren't Sharks. They are clownfishers. And yes, since 96, been full of talent but failed to deliver, says Drape. Oh, loose ball. Knock on from Grant Williams. Oh. Penalty for tackle off the ball. It's against 16, and that is against the Sharks. Can't afford to be doing that when you need possession. Anchor agreed, says Johnny. Now kicking that one into touch, you would have thought, after the first 2 tries, exactly right. Like, most people would have thought it was a guarantee almost. That they were going through, like, I thought, geez, I was saying they could have it by half time. And honestly, they probably should have. Like, Bordeaux, don't get me wrong, they've been good in this game, but we've seen sides score quite a few tries against Bordeaux before. In this case, though, it just hasn't happened. So they're just saying there that if it stands the way that it is, the Sharks would not go through. Don't get me wrong, not something I take pleasure in saying, but the Sharks are just disappointing, says Kerr. Now, bit of pressure. Ethan Hooker gets the ball, but Pinot takes it straight back. Now back across here. Attack and run forward from Mofana. Going to be knocked on. Or at least it looked like it was knocked on. It looks like it's going to be play on, though. Now Jalabert. I see taken at the back by the Sharks. Thought about a 50-22, but Yapinka was never going to kick that ball. Sharks should be disgusted by their second half performance. They should not play Curry Cup at this rate, says Stefan. But oh, man of the match, awesome. He's got to be 4 tries, 1 assist, or 2 assists, sorry. He's been involved in almost every single try that Bordeaux have scored. Nice inside ball from Jaden Hendrickson. Gets it away to, I think it was actually Bradley Davids. That time, no. In fact, I think they've got Grant Williams, Bradley Davids, and Jaden Hendrickson on. I know that the Springboks at times of the World Cup were trying the 2 halfback one. But Sharks are trying the 3. I thought Sear was the greatest player and greatest captain ever. How can they lose? PS, was he replaced on 49 minutes again? No, I think he's still out there. Sear Khaleesi, from what I've noticed. Jaden Hendrickson just has to kick the ball out. And you can just see the frustration and the disappointment on the face of the Sharks players. Looks like Damien Pinot is about to make his way from the field. Sharks doing a wild snatching defeat from victory and making it look easy. And also, we go there. What's the crowd like? The crowd is absolutely loving this. They're full packed house by the looks of it. Out there doing nothing. Says Power Bite. At all the talk of the pot, surely Pinot has stolen the crown. Says Jimbo. Yeah, he's had a really great game here for Damien Pinot, and I think it's just now over. I think he's made his way from the field with that injury. 35k in the crowd. Says I'm nutty. Looking for the rolling ball. New advantage going against the Sharks. Now, oh, that's trying to play the ball on the ground. That was probably lucky. It's going to be high again. Pinot takes the catch and scores the try. He has 5. But that one, I mean, a lot of credit has to go to Jalabert for that cross kick. Picture perfect. Straight into his chest. And no one out there marking. Yapinka was a long way from that wing, saving their energy for the next World Cup. Rassi's plan. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't be a loser like the Sharks. Sebastian, harsh, but yeah, unfortunately, they needed the 4. We have there apparently Pinot has the same kind of personality as the Shermanator off American Pie, meant to have a really goofy sense of humour. Says Power Bite, and nothing has gone the way of the Sharks. Yeah, now 50 points have been put on them. With a kick to come too. Jalabert doesn't bring that one round, but the score is still 52 points to 12. Pinot scores after leaving the field. Yeah, so obviously he did stay out for a little bit longer. I thought that they were going to take him off. Like, you wouldn't want to risk him getting injured. But I guess they just want to see how many tries he can score. It's over before it's over. We need a TKO for rugby games. I've watched Pinot in the flesh, and he is special. Every time he gets the ball, you expect something to happen. There we go, breaking records almost every week. They have just said. Oh, is that the first time we're seeing someone score 5 tries in a Champions Cup game? Maybe for Bordeaux anyway, but yeah, it might be a record at this moment. They are not even enough variants of laughing emojis. Currently on the halfway line for Grant Williams. I'd love to see the Sharks score just now, just to give us something to look at for that last little bit of time, you know. Bit of hope for them. But every breakdown, Bordeaux looked like stealing the ball straight back. This game is hard to listen to. Can't imagine what it's like watching it. Sharks shocking today. Says Lilia. Now, once again, stolen by Bordeaux. They will look for the 50-22. The Sharks only have Yapinka back, who is not known for his stellar defence. He's actually knocked that ball on and then been wrestled into touch as well. Scoreboard behind. He can't keep up. Says... Oh, I'm nutty, and Shark's going to be uploading the highlight reel on an OnlyFans account. And 52-12 says on the right, it certainly is. Now 6.5 minutes remaining. Bayern win against Gloucester. Challenge Cup, good day for France. Says Renaud. They've had quite a few good days over this Champions and Challenge Cup period. Seen quite a few French teams make it far. And I think we will continue to do so. Now ready to throw this ball in. Tatafu is back off the field, and that is for Gazzotti. So they're pretty much trading guys who got HIAs at the moment. Now, I'm back across to the left-hand side. Jalabert and Waki are not popular in France, as apparently they sacrificed the last year of training hard for trying to be influencers, attending every party going. Jalabert seen as ruining his potential, says Power Bite. Now 22 metres out from the line here. Sharks in possession, offloaded up to Sia Khaleesi, isolated. Ball almost stolen again. Grant Williams goes back across to Jason Jenkins. Yeah, try before 2 more minutes would be absolutely great. Just to, you know, get us a bit on the edge of the seat. And Emmanuel said, my friend in there. And the French don't really try that hard in Europe till the latter stages, says Flesh and No Shark, says Marion. I don't care, still more World Cups. And we won 4 times against you, says Cabus. Or is that Cob? No, it's not Cobus, is it? Is it Cabus? And even real Sharks in the ocean are embarrassed, says Drape, now passing out to the right-hand side, though. Skip pass. Out wide to Sia Khaleesi. Puts in the fend and the offload on the inside. Grant Williams tackled well. On all but stolen in the breakdown. Great hands from, I believe it was Pepsi Butalese. No, it was Lucanio Arm, in fact. Now Jaden Hendrickson looks for the offload. They're only 10 metres out here. Ben Tamefuna, though, ruins it for the Sharks. That was their best chance. My name is Kovis. Oh, and taking the quick tap too. Just to rub it in. Jalabert passes across to Damien Pinot, and he will have 6 now. No one back there. They're just stacking it up for fun. At this point, they're just pretty much giving him tries. The last 2, all he's had to do is run. And even that looks like it's painful at the moment for him because of bit of a leg injury. On the other news, the ref ran 100 metres in 10 seconds flat. Says on the right. And Spear tackled them out, says Drape. So yeah, it's just brutal, isn't it? You're 10 metres out from your own line. Ben Tamefuna gets the turnover, and then they take the quick tap, go the full length of the field, and score yet again. Dear Sharks, your 6th fetcher has never ever been a good fetcher. Cheers, Power Bite. And I've just downgraded Williams from a number 1 scrum half in South African position. Says Stefan, yeah, he's had a very poor game, Grant Williams. And I don't know whether or not it's because he's playing with frustration. I mentioned it earlier on. He was yelling at a ball boy, which was so weird to see. Because normally he seems like he's calm under pressure, yet this one's just maybe got to him a bit. I should mention the scoreboard, I assume it was updated or getting updated by a Sharks supporter at Flash Score. They've gone home. 62 unanswered points. Yep. Thanks for the commentary, mate, but I'm heading out. Says Cobra, so we will see you later. Oh, Lord, South Africa already coming up over the excuses, says Cameron. And UBB don't believe in catch and release. And achievement unlock 6 tries with any club. The Rugby Challenge game, says JD. Right, the Sharks have got the ball again. They've got 3 minutes to score twice. They've got to know that that is the implication that they've got. Now back across, Jaden Hendrickson. There is some intent here. This is the type of intent that they needed 15 minutes ago. Tell you what, Ben Tamefuna almost got another one. A5 for the scoreboard. It's currently updating the clock though, so it is getting updated. They just haven't updated the score. Now going back across to the right-hand side, or sorry, the left this time. Looking for another pass, looking for the offload. That's just poor from the Sharks. Once again, loose ball. Cleaned up by Labaskachny, who's got a Bordeaux player right on him. And it's going to become Bordeaux's ball again in the breakdown. I don't think they're done yet. They want another one, Bordeaux. They want to really make a statement here. Out wide to Damien Pinot. Can he get a 7th in this match? He scored a bonus point by himself. Oh, what a fend from the big number 19. Another try. And they've brought up 60 points now. 10 tries up against the Sharks. Hamish, are you doing the series game? We are not, no. I was told yesterday that we're going to be building a fence at about 7:30 a.m. So that is in about 4 hours' time. So I'm hoping to sneak maybe 3 hours sleep, and that's going to be my decent-ish sleep for the night. I voted Bordeaux on the chat poll. What percent got it right? One moment. We'll quickly have a look. I'll go like this and like that. I assume it won't be very high, though, just at a guess. I think there was a lot of optimism for this game. Bordeaux was, 47%. Of course, some of those may have come in a little bit later, but of 450 votes, it's pretty much 50-50 with the draw at 5%. This is actually embarrassing. Make it stop now. I'm not even chuckling anymore. Yeah, it is another try. Whoever was doing the scoreboard's gone home. What's the actual score? 66-12. So, yeah, the Challenge Cup is definitely where we are going to see the Sharks. But now they get the opportunity to go back-to-back. 200 points in 4 games. Yeah, ridiculous from Bordeaux, how good they've been throughout this Champions Cup. Now kicked off again by Jaden Hendrickson. Bordeaux, I honestly think they'll try and score one more. They've got 20 seconds and they will just make a statement here. Came in at 69 minutes and physically predicted the result. Or, oh no, you're saying you did it in your brain. And yeah, Challenge Cup again, right, back into the pocket, 3 more seconds. They will kick it into touch. And that is the end of this one. They will more than likely stay number 1. I don't think anyone's topping them in terms of the next results. Toulouse, they will be annoyed that they didn't get that bonus point in their last game. Interesting, though, that Toulouse and Bordeaux didn't play each other, though. Is there any way the Sharks can qualify? They are through to the Challenge Cup. So they won't be in the Champions Cup competition anymore, but they will be in the Challenge Cup alongside the Bulls, the Lions, and maybe the Stormers, depending on what happens with the Sale Sharks. So we're going to see a lot of South African teams throughout that Challenge Cup competition. The crowd definitely got their money's worth, says Lilia B. I should mention in about maybe 4 hours' time, I think it will be, maybe a little bit more than that. We will know exactly who is going to be through in the next round. 62 unanswered WTF, says Jimbo. Yeah, definitely not a second half to remember here for the Sharks. The scoreboard stopped at 47-12, but it's actually 66-12 at the end of this match. Thank you, lads. Your legend, mate. Take it easy, Amish, says JD. And I should mention we will be back next week with the URC. If you want to know what these two sides are going to be doing next week, Bordeaux have got a match of the top 14. One moment, we will remove that. There we go. They are up against Lyon and Cardiff are taking on the Sharks in Cardiff. Might be a tough game, seeing as this result did just happen. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. We are going to be back next week, not just with the URC, but also with the Sevens as well. So be sure to check that out. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. I will see you all for the next one.